Hello guys, welcome to Storytime with Guitar. I don't know if the lighting is all good or I should find somewhere else to sit. I'm still in bed, eh? I'm off today, so should open the kitchen. Have some good lighting up here. I think that's a little bit better. My phone. I really need to buy a phone holder. Welcome to my live, guys. Welcome to Storytime with Kitara. I know you are going to wonder, like, why is she telling this story now? But okay, so today's story is about the time I got the coronavirus. And for those that never ever got infected with the virus, I'm sure up to date they think that was just some rumor or it wasn't true, and whoever got sick was just pretending, right? Yeah. But it was real, guys. For some of us that had it, it was real. And if it wasn't the coronavirus, and I don't know what that was, but I'm sure it was. So that's the story I have for you guys today. So don't get surprised. Like, why is she telling the story now? What happened is, okay, sometimes I do make stories like immediately they happen, or maybe a few days after. But what happened is, when I made the coronavirus story, it's like at the time I wasn't eligible to post long videos. I don't even remember how long that video was. But what happened is I actually posted the coronavirus video, and since there wasn't enough storage in my phone, immediately I saw that it was uploaded on YouTube. I deleted it in my phone. Going back to YouTube, I found a surprise and I was so frustrated because what was written on the YouTube video is that the video couldn't be uploaded because it was too long, and I had already deleted the video. I was so frustrated. I was just like, I'm not gonna do this anymore. I don't know why my laptop is not. Is it charging? It is. Yeah. So this is what happened, guys. First of all, when the coronavirus rumors came out, I don't know if I can say rumors, or when we were informed to say there's a virus on the loose, I was working in Livingston at the time. And the first people I ever saw wearing masks were Asian people. No offense, but that's just the truth. They were Asian people. So something even clicked in my mind, but I'm not gonna say it. Something clicked in my mind, or maybe I can say it in vernacular. I was like, so ndimo mwaleta a virus yameza tipa imumva na mamask ka. That's what I said in my head. So, but you know how it is when there are rumors. But for me, I don't know if I can call myself gullible. I'm not so sure. But for me, I easily believe things. That's why I don't even like being on social media, because once I hear something from this one, I'll believe it. Once I hear something from this one, you know, the back and forth that people usually have on social media, I'll be like, this one seems like he's telling the truth. When I listen to this other person, this one seems like she's telling the truth. So I'm not the type who would be like, is this virus even real? I immediately believed it. Once I heard, no, the coronavirus was on the loose, I immediately believed it, and I started taking precautions. And the funny thing is, what happened, my colleagues can actually attest to what I'm about to say. I'm not making it up. There was a time when we received a client in the branch at my workplace. This client was inquiring about something, and that day I wasn't wearing my specs. So whilst this client was talking, his saliva, like whilst he was talking, his saliva like splashed, and then some of it went in my eye. I was like, I'm done. I'm dead. I'm done for. I'm gone. And my colleague laughed at me. She was like, this is not even real. Even though you think the coronavirus is real, it's not real. You're not going to get sick. You're not going to die. But I got scared. And I was just like, I'm gone. I'm dead. Immediately, the client left the branch. I went to wash my eye. And I started praying to God. I'm like, God, please. I don't want to die. I don't want to die, because the descriptions about the coronavirus were so scary. I was just like, my head is just gonna like get big and explode. Yeah. So after that, I actually got transferred back to Lusaka from Livingstone, and that's why I got the coronavirus from Lusaka. I got the coronavirus. I was like, so if I didn't come back to Lusaka, if I still remained in Livingstone, I wasn't even going to get sick. So what happened now for me to get the coronavirus is this. And I really, really hate people that don't like taking precautions, or people that don't like to act when they know they're sick. Like someone who just, especially, like for even a small thing like someone having a flu, because for me, I easily get sick. So there are some people who are careless, like even when they have a flu, they'll just be like, no, I'll be fine. I'll just choose some lemons, or I'll just choose some ginger. And I'm like, for me, I actually do shout at such people. I'm like, I don't want to get your sickness, because I easily get sick. Can you take care of that? So that's what happened. The girl who spread the virus, that's what she did. I don't like careless people. I'm so frustrated. So this girl was the office assistant in that branch that I was working in. What happened is, first of all, she got a headache. And then she started having fluish like symptoms. So I tell this girl, you have heard that the virus is on the loose. Please, I don't want to get it. I'm taking all the precautions and you're being careless. And she never used to wear any masks. Nothing. No sanitizing, no what. I don't like such people. Like, be careless for yourself, but don't bring your carelessness on other people. So she's just like, no, I'm just gonna go home and steam. Since there are people who usually say, no, if you steam, the coronavirus will go away and all that. I'll just go home and steam, because I actually told her to say, can you go to the hospital right now, so that you find out what the problem is and you take care of whatever that is. She was like, the coronavirus is not even real. What are you worried about? So this girl worked the whole day, and in my head I was just like, I hope I don't get sick. Like, I hope I won't get whatever she has, and I hope it's not the coronavirus, because no one would ever wish something like that upon someone. I hope it's not the coronavirus, and mostly because I just didn't want to get it. So that's how come this girl, the next day she didn't come for work. I called this girl, like, why haven't you come for work? She's like, I'm not well, so I'm actually going to the hospital. And I'm like, I told you, girl, I told you. Like, why didn't you act when you started to feel the symptoms and seeing the signs? Why didn't you go to the hospital? So now I was just wishing and saying, I hope I won't get whatever she has, and I hope it's not the coronavirus. Midday, I started feeling funny. So this is how it started. First, I had a headache, which turned into a migraine, and I knew, oh my God, I'm not okay. And then I started feeling weak, started feeling dizzy. You know how it is, like when you're feeling sick, you just start feeling weird. Even if you're not in any pain, you just feel weird, like, okay, I'm not myself, I'm not well. So that's how come I was like, I'm not gonna waste any time. I'm the kind who doesn't waste time. Like, if I just feel something, I would go to the hospital. So I went to ask for permission from my supervisor, and my supervisor was strict. So I had to ask in a way that she would give me permission and say, okay, fine, go. So I told her to say, I don't feel well. I just want to make sure I'm okay. I just want to know what's up with me. As you know, the virus is on the loose. So I'll just go to the hospital because there was a hospital just in the same road as my office. So I told her to say, I just want to go by the hospital just along this same road. As soon as I'm done with the test and all that, I'll come back to work. And that's how come she was like, okay, fine, you can go. This woman was strict. Like, even if you're seriously sick, she never liked it when you leave work. So that's how come she allowed me, and she was like, okay, fine, you can go. And that's how come I went to the hospital. And I actually went walking, eh? The hospital wasn't very far, but it was like maybe 20 minutes walk. I went walking and I was feeling weak. But the thing is, the road I used to work in, it was always, there was always traffic. Like, it was always crowded with cars everywhere. So even if you had to get on a taxi or whatever, you wouldn't reach on time or in time. So I went walking, reached the hospital. And what usually happens to me is when I start feeling sick, immediately I reach the hospital, things get worse. I don't know if it's the environment. I really, really hate hospitals. So that's how come I reached the hospital, and um, I filled in the forms and all that, and I started waiting for the doctor. So I went in the doctor's office, and the doctor asked me the usual questions. How are you? What's up? How are you feeling? And then I started to describe. Like, I was okay today, but I just got a headache from nowhere. I'm feeling very cold right now. So when I reached the hospital, when I said it got worse, I started feeling cold, but it wasn't cold. I started shivering. I was like, I have a migraine right now. I tried to take some painkillers. It's not going away. I'm feeling cold. I'm shivering right now. I feel drowsy. I feel weak. I'm in some pain. Blah 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 blah. They asked me, and then this doctor was like, so the hospital is a big unbeliever of religion. Yeah, like the doctors, everybody there, it's like that's the culture there. Everybody practices religion. So when you get there, they usually even give cards that have Bible verses on them. So the doctor was like encouraging me, like, no, don't worry. God, God is in control. Everything is okay. Because I was telling them, I feel like I have the coronavirus, according to the symptoms and signs we were told to look out for. And she was like, no, don't worry. Maybe it could be something else. So what we're going to do first is test you for pregnancy. And I'm like, why? Because she was like, signs and symptoms for pregnancy sometimes are all the same. So we'll test you for pregnancy. Okay. Instead of you prioritizing the coronavirus first. Okay. Well, that's how come they tested for pregnancy. Now I say again because I also easily get paranoid. I got paranoid. I'm like, could I be preggy? That would be something else. Okay. They tested and were like, no, you're not pregnant. And then they go on to say, actually, your insurance doesn't allow testing for the coronavirus. So you have to pay cash. I'm like, why? Is it that expensive just to test for the coronavirus? And then they were like, no, it's actually not even expensive. It's 1,000. Where am I going to get the 1,000 from? So I'm like, no. Can you please call them? Because how are we going to survive? We depend on our insurance to treat these diseases and to test for these diseases. How am I going to do that? So she was like, okay, let me try. She called and the insurance wasn't picking up actually. But after some time, I actually found out that the insurance used to allow taking a COVID test, but only once. the first time and after you get better. So I guess they are just afraid to say if they tested for corona, if they tested me for COVID, they wouldn't get paid by the insurance. So the doctor was like, you know what, based on the signs and symptoms you're giving me, I'll just say you have the coronavirus. So I'm gonna give you 3 days. I'll give you this medication. I'll give you 3 days. When you come back for the review, if you won't be okay, then you really do have the coronavirus. I'm like, okay. So that's how come, first of all, before telling me that I had the coronavirus, she just gave me a 3 days sick off leave, and she gave me some medication. And I informed my supervisor, and my supervisor wasn't happy about it. She wasn't happy about it. Yeah, she always wanted people to get work done and all that. But guys, if you're not well, you're not well. Okay. So I went back home and I got on the treatment, and it got worse. I don't even know if I'm gonna remember right now how I was feeling, but it got the symptoms got worse. The headache never went away. I was always weak. I was always dizzy. I wasn't managing to do things normally. Because sometimes, what I'm saying so is that sometimes when I'm sick, even if I don't have anybody by my side, I'm able to take care of myself. But I wasn't able to do things the way I would normally do them when I'm not well. Yeah. So anyways, after 3 days, I went back to the hospital for a review. And I told them I'm not any better. And the doctor was like, I can see your BP is actually high. I'm like, BP is high. Okay, that's something. I never ever had my BP high. Your BP is high. My temperature was very high as well. The headaches never went away. And because of the headache, my eyes were always hurting. Yeah, my eyes were always hurting. So that's when she now put me on the treatment for coronavirus. She was like, I think you do have it. And I asked her to say, why can't you just do the tests? And she told me, your insurance can't allow. So we can't do it. I'll just say you have the coronavirus. And she gave me the cards they were giving at the time that says positive or negative, and positive was marked positive for the coronavirus. And the way the coronavirus was being described, I was like, okay, I'm dead, I'm gone. Like, I am gone. So this is it for me. Because I wasn't hearing anybody surviving the virus, or it was just rumors, I don't know. So I was like, oh, so this is it for me. Okay. So that's how come I was given a lot of painkillers. And I thought I would be given like complicated medication, but it wasn't complicated. The only one that I wasn't familiar with is, what's that medicine again? Is it, yeah, azithromycin. It was my first time taking that one. So I was like, oh, so this is the medication for the coronavirus. That's the only medication I wasn't familiar with. But when I was given paracetamol, I was like, why are they giving me paracetamol? Why are they giving me, like, paracetamol doesn't make sense for this for this virus. But I guess it was for the pain. So I was given paracetamol, lots and lots of it, and azithromycin. Yeah, and at the time when I got the virus, remember I had relocated back to Lusaka from Livingstone. So the apartment that I was living in, I really didn't like it because it was nice, but I just didn't like the area. Yeah, I didn't like the area. So I was looking for accommodation elsewhere. And I remembered when I was living in Livingstone, there was some lady that was renting out apartments. And I remember she actually said she also has apartments in Lusaka. And I was like, why did I think of this? Why didn't I? Okay, I just forgot. Like, it just slipped my mind. So I reached out and she actually said she had apartments and they were available. I'm like, thank God, thank God, thank God. So after managing to find an apartment, I started making preparations to shift whilst I was unwell. Guys, it sounds easy when describing it right now, but the feeling. Okay, so let me just go straight into it. After I moved, the headaches were still there. They never went away. My body from head to toe, it was always in pain. This is the way I always describe that pain. I know, I don't know if werewolves do exist, but you guys have watched movies where there are werewolves. Remember when a werewolf is transforming, like from a human to a werewolf, the way you would see it transforming and it's in pain. That's why I describe it. The pain was something else. I was always in pain. I lost the sense of taste. I thought this was an exaggeration when they were saying, no, you lose the sense of taste. I couldn't taste anything. I would be eating something, and my favorite relish is fish. And I was always eating fish, imagine. I don't know if it's because I found it the easiest to prepare at the time. I was always eating fish. And I only used to have 2 meals in a day, but I was told you need to have 3 meals in a day. But I couldn't manage like to prepare these meals because I was alone. I know you're gonna ask like, why didn't you have someone over to assist you? The thing is, I just thought it would be selfish. Like there were some friends that offered to come through. I just thought it would be selfish of me to have someone over and then I have them infected. It wouldn't make sense. Like I have the coronavirus, someone comes over to assist me, they end up getting it, they get sick, they go back to their home, they end up affecting other people. I didn't want that. So I just told myself, I'm gonna do this. After all, I'm a strong bitch. Like I'm gonna manage to do this on my own. I refused all my friends' assistance. Yeah. So they were just helping me like from a distance. My relatives, some of my relatives and some of my friends. So I lost the sense of taste, guys. My tongue turned white. I was just like, this is not normal. Like I'm no longer a human being. I just told myself, isn't this just the zombie apocalypse? Like why are things changing in this way? What if I end up just turning into something else and I'm no longer a human being and I die? My tongue turned white. I couldn't taste anything. You would be drinking something sweet or eating something salty, but you wouldn't taste anything. I couldn't taste anything. That's why I'm saying at some point I thought I'm no longer a human being because why can't I taste what I'm eating? It was bad. So I lost the sense of taste. And then I was always sleeping. If I tell you that I only used to wake up when it's time for me to do something, I actually even used to set a timer. I used to set a timer for when I needed to prepare food. I used to set a timer for when I needed to bath. Me, I'm a clean freak. So even though I was sick and I was weak, I always used to tell myself you have to bath. So I used to set a timer. I used to sleep, guys. If I tell you that I used to sleep maybe out of 24 hours, if I tell you I used to sleep maybe even, okay, I don't know, but I'll just give an example. Maybe 22 hours out of 24. I'm telling you the truth. And I know this sounds exaggerated, but that was the case. It was impossible for me to stay awake. Like because usually when you're unwell, they usually advise to say don't be in bed like the whole time. Maybe get up, maybe take a walk. That was not possible. Maybe sit somewhere. It was impossible for me to sit because I was always in pain, and each time I sat down, it was just an uncomfortable feeling, and I always just wanted to lie down. And I actually felt better when I was asleep. So I was always asleep. I would only get up if I felt like I wanted to pee, if I felt like I wanted to make a meal or to take a bath. Those are the only times I got up. So now when it comes to me getting up to go and take a bath, this is the way I'm going to describe it. For those of you that take alcohol, those moments you used to have when you're wasted and you're just either holding on onto a wall whilst you're walking or crawling. Guys, if I tell you I used to crawl when going to the bathroom, I was just like, I'm gone, because what's this? I used to crawl. The goodness is the bathroom wasn't too far, but it was like, how many feet away? Let me say maybe 40, no, 50 feet away from my bedroom. That's where the bathroom was. And I was thinking to myself, why didn't this woman put a bathroom right here in the bedroom? It was a one bedroom house, but the bathroom was just on its own. The bedroom wasn't self contained. So I was always wishing, I wish his bedroom was self contained. I used to crawl. Sometimes I used to walk, but while I was holding on to the wall, if it's too difficult, I just used to crawl to the bathroom. And when I get to the bathroom, the goodness is there was always hot water. So I didn't have those difficulties of boiling water or whatever. There was always hot water from the geyser, and there was a shower. Although the bathroom had a bathtub, but there was a shower in the bathtub. That was a goodness. So I usually just used to sit in the bathtub, and I would get the shower head and I start washing myself. It was not easy. Something that you would easily do, like brushing your teeth, washing your face, it was a hard task during this coronavirus. That virus, thank God it's gone. I don't know if it's gone, but if it's now minimal, thank God, because it wasn't a good thing to go through. When I'm done bathing, I usually used to sit first in the bathtub, like to take a break. I'm like, let me just rest a bit. At some point, I would find myself dozing in the bathtub. So I'll just get out now and go back to the bedroom and sleep. And I would only get up when I needed to prepare a meal. I was advised you need to hydrate, but no matter how much water I drank, my mouth was always dry. It always felt dry. That's why I keep on saying I felt like I wasn't human anymore, because it was just like I have a body. I can't feel nothing, but I have to feed this body to stay alive. I would pour water in my mouth. I can't feel anything. Hey, man, I couldn't taste anything. Yeah, so that was it. I'm sure when I made the video about the coronavirus, since I could remember every detail at that time, and I actually got it in June. That was 2021 in June. Yeah, and I was given 2 weeks of sick leave. If I can remember very well the date, I don't know if it was 10th June, I've forgotten, but it was somewhere in June. That's when I got the coronavirus. So headaches, which never used to go away. I lost a sense of taste. I didn't have any strength. I was always sleeping, guys. Out of 24 hours, maybe 22 hours out of 24, I was always sleeping. I always had a fever. My temperature was always high. Night sweats. It was bad. And I always used to, since I couldn't allow anybody like to come through to assist me during that time, I always had people like advising me. Like my uncle, he was always shouting at me. My uncle always used to check on me. Like he would call me, like, how are you feeling today? And I would be like, I feel the same. I'm not feeling any difference. And he would shout at me like, why haven't you woken up? Why haven't you steamed? And I'm like, where am I going to get the strength from? To start boiling water, to start getting leaves from outside and boiling those leaves and steaming, because he was advising me to say, steam, at least get any leaves outside. It could be mango leaves, it could be orange, it could be lemon. And I was just like, okay, I would do it. But in my head, I was like, where the heck am I going to get this strength from? Because I might end up even just falling in the pot, dropping in the pot, or maybe the water will just end up spilling on me and I'll get bent. Yeah, so people just used to tell me, no, why haven't you done what? Oh, and also, I always had a hard time breathing. There are times when it just felt like my nostrils were blocked, my chest too. There are times when I was having a hard time to breathe. Those are the times when my uncle would tell me, why haven't you steamed? And where am I gonna get this strength from for me to boil this water and the leaves? Times when I would lose my breath, and I'm actually a person, ever since I was a kid, I'm actually one who's scared to die. So when I lose my breath, I was just like, is this it or what? So usually when I lose my breath, I used to open the window. I would open the window like to get some fresh air. If I can't feel it, I would go outside no matter what time it was. And it was very hard for me to know what time it was. But the goodness is the place where I was living was very, very safe. Like you'd step out at any time, it was safe. So I would step out outside to get some fresh air and then I had these annoying neighbors. Okay, sorry to say annoying, but at that time it was annoying for me because I was unwell. I didn't tell anybody though that I was unwell. I remember a time when I was shifting, the mover that was moving me, he was like, you don't look well. Everybody was concerned. Like, if you don't look well or you just sneeze or you cough, people are concerned because at the time the coronavirus was on the loose. So people are concerned. And the way us Africans are, when you're concerned, you end up being scared and you'd actually be harsh about it when you're talking to someone like, hey, maybe go to the hospital or something. Please go to the hospital so that you don't infect us. The driver asked me, like, you don't look well, but I always used to take precautions so that I don't infect someone else. I would always be in a mask. I would always sanitize my hands. And I would always encourage people around me, if I don't see you wearing a mask, I'll be like, please wear a mask. So the driver was like, you don't look well. And I was like, yeah, I'm not well. I was actually found with malaria, but I actually had the coronavirus. I just didn't want to alarm him. I was just like, I was actually found with malaria. Yeah, I'm not well. I'm like, malaria? Really? I'm like, yeah, I was also shocked because malaria is not common in Lusaka, but yeah, I have it. But then when I moved to that place, I didn't tell anybody like I was unwell. Yeah, so my neighbors were too friendly. They would always knock on my door. Like there was a time when my uncle told me to say, you shouldn't just be sleeping, whatever, whatever, whatever. Try to do something. So there was a time when I got up, I was like, okay, fine. Let me try to watch something. So I went in the living room and I put Naruto. Does any of you know Naruto? It's an anime, very interesting series. I put Naruto, I started watching, and my neighbors came. They were actually a married couple, and they had 2 kids at the time. The hubby came, and he knocked on my door, and I was like, God. Okay, bless them for being friendly, but at the time it was annoying because I wasn't well. Okay, so the hubby comes and he's knocking on my door. So I opened the door, and I'm like, because that wasn't the first time they knocked on my door. So I was like, how come these people don't see that, okay, this person doesn't look well? They're always knocking on my door. So the hubby comes, he knocks on my door, and he's like, hi, good morning, how are you? And they were so loud. And the other thing that, when you're sick and there's noise, it's annoying. Sometimes it even like causes pain. So his voice, I was just getting irritated. I was like, hi, how are you? And I was just like, I'm fine. What's that you're watching? And I wasn't even like really paying attention to what I was watching at the time. I just put something. I was like, let me just put something. And actually, while I was watching it, I slept off until the knock on the door woke me up. He was like, "What's that you're watching?" So I was confused because first of all, I was from waking up. Secondly, I wasn't well. I was like, "What's that you're watching?" And the name had gone. Imagine, I forgot that I was watching Naruto. So I was like, I don't know. It's just some series, some Chinese series. And I was like, is that Naruto? And I was like, yeah, Naruto. Ah, we'll come get some episodes. We don't have all the episodes. Which seasons do you have? And I was just like, I'm not so sure. I'm sure he felt bad because he thought I was being unfriendly, but actually I was ill. I was sick. So I'm like, okay, no problem. No problem. You should come get the series. You'll find me. And some other times the wife came over, knocked, and she was like, if you need anything, blah blah blah. And I was just like, yeah, knowing me, I'm not well. Yeah, so that was about it, guys. I know obviously when I made the coronavirus video, it was detailed because the fact that it was long and YouTube flagged it as the video is too long. I'm sure it was way detailed than what I've said. But it was a very difficult time for me because I was doing this all alone and I didn't want anybody to help. Some friends offered, like, let me come through and help, but I didn't. I just thought it would be selfish of me, like, to get someone else infected. And actually, one of the friends that offered, like, to come help me, to come take care of me once I had the coronavirus, her parents even actually got the coronavirus, like the both of them. So I thought to myself, see, if I let her like come through and she got the coronavirus, and she got the coronavirus, her and her parents would have both been down with the coronavirus, which wasn't going to be fair. So yeah, it was headaches, drowsiness, dizziness, high temperature, fevers, no sense of taste. I couldn't taste anything. And I was sleeping long hours. Long hours. Sleeping long hours. Is there anything else I've forgotten? Having difficulties with breathing. Sometimes vision. I forgot about that. Sometimes my vision used to that was so like, is this disease going to be bad? You know how it is, how we usually like researching on the internet? Like you would research something. Some things were alarming. They were like, yeah, coronavirus makes you blind, but there were some comforting things also on the internet that was saying, no, it's a normal effect. It's a normal. So that was that about the coronavirus. And I only started to feel better after I even actually made a video when I started to feel better. And when I say starting to feel better, I felt a little bit stronger than I was before. Like I regained my strength just a little bit. And the pain was minimal and I couldn't experience some side effects that I was experiencing. I actually made a video when I started feeling better. That was after, I think that was after 10 or 12 days. Yeah, I actually even called my uncle and I told him to say, I actually feel better. I think I'm getting better now. There was some hope because I lost hope. I lost all hope. I was like, because everybody that I heard had the virus, they passed away. Like my friend's parents, they both got the coronavirus and they passed away. Not at the same time, but at different times. So when I got it, I was just like, this is it for me. But when I say feeling better, I've just remembered. See, it's been too long now. I everything keeps on coming back to me when I talk about something else. I've just remembered. I also lost the sense of smell. I couldn't smell anything. Not that my nose was blocked, no. My nostrils were clear, but I couldn't smell anything. Like when I'm cooking something, I couldn't smell it. I actually remember there was a time when, so remember when I said I only used to have 2 meals in a day? So I used to have breakfast. I would make whatever it was, but I never used to make anything that had milk since I was taking medication. I used to make bread. Mostly I used to make sandwiches. Then the second meal I would make pap. So there was a time when I was cooking pap on shima. There was a time when I was cooking shima, and I went in the bedroom. I was like, let me give it some time to cook. I gave it some time to cook. I was waiting. I ended up sleeping off, and then I just woke up. You know those moments when you're asleep and you forgot to do something, and then just suddenly wake up. You're like, oh my god, maybe I forgot to do what? I forgot to do what? So I was like, oh my, I was cooking something. So I woke up, I went to the kitchen, and I found the shima was burnt. And I was like, I can't cook this anymore. I'm just gonna eat this. So imagine the shima was burnt, but I couldn't smell it whilst it was burning. So I lost the sense of smell as well. Yeah. So that was about it. But I'm just glad this came to pass. Yeah. And the other thing that I experienced that was, I think that was influenza, honestly, because by that time we were informed that the coronavirus wasn't on the loose anymore, and by that time the coronavirus um, was under control. Like each time someone got the coronavirus, doctors knew what to do, so it was under control. What happened is the same symptoms I described when I got the coronavirus, like getting a headache. That's how this started as well. I think that was influenza, although I wasn't told to say you have influenza. I was just told like there's nothing wrong with you, but all the symptoms that I described when I had the coronavirus is what happened. That was in 2022 October. I got a headache. I was feeling very cold, even though it wasn't cold. I had body pains from head to toe, and at that time, those body pains were way worse than the time I had coronavirus. I wasn't managing to sit, I wasn't managing to sleep, I was in pain. I think that was influenza. Yeah, I had no strength, the same thing, but when it came to the sense of smell and taste, I could smell, I could taste things, but the taste wasn't nice. You know, like when you're sick and food doesn't taste nice, or water. Yeah, that was it. So, anyways, I think that's it with the coronavirus story. Please comment also if you had the coronavirus the time it was on the loose, or what is it exactly you are thinking about? Were you alarmed? Were you scared? Did you think it was rumors? Did you think it was a lie? I remember when the time when I had it, when my colleague called, he was like, "You just want to be off, right?" And I got so irritated and shouted and shouted at him. I was like, "Do you really think somebody would want to lie and say they're sick and actually wish upon themselves this virus and say I have the coronavirus when they don't have it?" I got upset and shouted at him because he never ever believed that the coronavirus was real. Even up to date, if you ask him, he'll just tell you no, coronavirus kwenze libe. That's how shallow that guy was. Sorry to say shallow, my friend, but you're shallow. He was shallow. Yeah, so did you think it was a lie as well, the coronavirus? Because it wasn't. It was not. Yeah. So share in the comments. Like as well. I don't know if I've forgotten anything, but I felt like my video wasn't as detailed because it's been too long. Like this is 2025 and that was 2021, but that's all I remember. And it was not a good thing to go through. And I feel like for me, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was, because for other people passed away. And one of my aunties, that's an auntie in law though, The time I had it, I was told she also had it, and she was always on oxygen whilst I wasn't. So I feel like I wouldn't say it was as bad because other people went through the worst even being them losing their lives. So in as much as my experience was bad, I wouldn't complain. And the time when I got better, my other auntie-in-law, she was like, you should be grateful that you got them better. Because for me, I took it lightly. I was just like, ah, I just took it lightly. But she told me, you should, like, when I told her I feel better, she was like, oh my God, congratulations. And I was like, why is she saying all these things? Like, congratulations, you should be grateful to God that you're okay, you survived this. And I was like, yeah, for real I have, because she told me to say kudos to you because you actually even managed to do this alone or on your own with no one's help. I remember when the head of operations while I was working, she called and she asked me, yeah, the head of operations and the human resource, they called me and they asked me, do you have someone taking care of you? I just said yes. Yeah, just to get that out of the way because I didn't want to start getting questions like, how are you managing? And I didn't want them to think maybe I was just lying that I wasn't sick because I really was. So I just said, yeah, I have someone taking care of me. And the head of operations was a funny woman. She was like, okay, I hope you don't bring in any boys over. Like, stay away from boys. I just laughed. I was like, no, there are no boys here. I actually just have a relative over. They're the ones taking care of me. And she's like, oh, we don't want when you come back to work, you start saying you're pregnant. Oh, no. Yeah. So that was it, guys. The experience was not okay, but I'm just glad I survived it and I managed to take care of myself. My uncle was always surprised, like, you, how are you managing? The thing is, he was far away from where I was. He was in another city. I feel like if he was close, maybe he would have helped or something. So that was it, guys. Please subscribe if you haven't so that you can keep up with my stories of my life, sometimes fiction. Subscribe, please, like and comment and get into my world. Sometimes I do post crazy stuff, although my partner always tells me not to. So I'm kind of restricted, but I like being crazy because I'm a crazy person. I like being crazy, but sometimes I'm restricted and I don't like that. Yeah, but sometimes I do get crazy, but not too crazy. I just get to do funny stuff. So if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, guys. Please. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Share your experience again and your any thoughts about the coronavirus. I just thought I should do a live on this coronavirus video because I don't think I'll ever get the time like to sit down and do a video and edit it and post it. Too much work and so many busy schedules. So yeah, I know my story wasn't as detailed, but I'm glad I've told it. Thank you so much, guys. Goodbye. Have a good day. I'm off today, so I was off yesterday and I'm off today, but I was very busy yesterday in spite of me being off. So I just told myself today is a lazy day for me because I want to get all the rest I can. Thank you, guys. Have a good day. Please subscribe and join story time with Guitar and become my family. Okay, bye, guys. Have a good day. Goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye.